This is something that was originally going to be like a video diary, but I'm going to share it as a rant because I know a lot of content creators go through things like this. And this is mostly about me, but like this week, I'll tell you what, guys, has been very, very rough. And I and I say this and I post this video with the knowledge that there very well might be trolls and haters that will come into their comments. And here's the thing, like, I'm not gonna read the comment section of this video. I've resolved to. At least you won't know if I'm reading it if I slip up, because I won't be, because that's what a rant is for. And if there's any other like smaller time content creators out there, I just want you to know that I'm going through some of the same struggles that you are. Like, that's something that they don't tell us about getting into this line of work is just the amount of scrutiny, both inevitable and just very needless, that you're going to go under. And especially if you have a mental illness, it's something that you have to be careful of. I've definitely been in a depressive episode for a few weeks now, and it's no wonder, because I'm recovering from an anniversary, and then it was Veterans Day this week, and then holidays are typically always bad for people with PTSD. And just like from the video I posted, right, making fun of me asking my husband to do the dishes, and I'm like, oh, can you please do them now? Could you do them now? And that just triggering a whole bunch of men and fucking submissive ass women and wives me like, what the fuck are you doing? Why don't you get off your ass? You can't post on Instagram all day or whatever. What the fuck are you doing? She's fucking useless if she can't do those two things. And usually I follow my own advice and I don't answer those. I don't answer things like that because they're not worth it. Because they're hateful ass people with attitudes that have literally nothing else to do. And a lot of them are just being a demonstration of just like very triggered men, like how little it takes to trigger a man by just asking and being firm, like, could you do this now, please? Like, could you do this now? And some going so far to say that they would choke me. And then it was Veterans Day, which is a big trauma day for me because I don't necessarily, it's just like, so I do talk about my time in service, but like Veterans Day is like a constant reminder of, not only my time in service, but just how much like no one really does give a fuck about me as a veteran or anyone that's a veteran outside of giving them a free meal. And so that's a trigger for me too. And I don't expect everybody to know that I have PTSD in anything. And I always say that no one is responsible for your unresolved trauma, and you've got to work through that yourself. You cannot walk around demanding that the world bend to you, which I know a lot of people do, and it's very annoying. But I'm saying for me, because this is a rant, going like as a creator who's a PTSD veteran, seeing comments like that are like, I would choke you. What the fuck have you done? Why are you fucking lazy? Like, why don't you fucking do it with him? All of this shit. And usually I don't feel the need to justify myself because I don't have the need. But because I'm in this depressive episode right now, I'm sitting here getting really like upset and triggered by shit. Because I'm like, what have I done? I take care of the entire house. I was in the military for a decade. I was the breadwinner while my husband was going to college and all this shit. And while having PTSD, like, while fighting for my life, all these things that people cannot possibly see through just a fucking superficial ass parasocial relationship. And people think that when they see you on the screen that they know you like that, when they don't know you like that. And then they think that they can make comments like that and comment on the state of your marriage, and all of this shit when you are nowhere close to giving Jada Pinkett Smith level information dumps on how your relationship and your marriage is. It's very hurtful. It's very, very fucking hurtful. You know, it's, you know, especially, like I said, going, like, thinking about all the things, like, I went through all of this bullshit in my life, all of this sacrifice to make sure that my, you know, my family has a good life or a decent life. Oh, you can't stay at home posting Instagram pictures all day. And I'm like, yeah, I stay home because I'm a PTSD disabled vet and I can't work traditionally. And yes, I do like pursue a career in entertainment and music from here, which a lot of people look down on anyway, you know what I mean? But it's so draining, and if you pay attention to that stuff enough, like, you can really tie, it's really easy, it's so easy to tie your worth to that, you know. And then, you know, Veterans Day, some people calling me a war criminal or and shit like that. That happens sometimes. And it sucks because even in a sea of positive comments, I think there's a psychological study done that it's like, it takes like 5 good comments to like undo the effects of one negative comment on someone, and like that one negative thing can just really push a very specific button. And the advice that I always give people that I have not been following my own advice myself is that not everything requires a response. Not everything requires a response. But like I said, if you're having some mental health issues, like more than usual at the moment, it's really easy to let those rules go out the door, even if you made them yourself. And this week, guys, oh my God, I let it go out the door so badly. I've had my husband, I've had a friend, like so many times I'm just scrolling on my phone, looking at these fucking comments. And they're like, what are you doing? What are you looking at? And I'm like, comments. And they're like, don't stop looking at those fucking comments. And that's what I'm gonna have to try and do. And it's very hard to detach, especially when you do love entertaining. And you do, that's the thing, like, they don't tell creators and stuff, creative people, is like, you do need to detach from time to time, because especially if you're doing shit for an audience, you're an artist, you get sensitive about your shit, and not all audience members are fucking fantastic. Actually, people just really, really suck. And playing into that energy, it can destroy you really, really quick. And so always finding the need to detach, but it's, like I said, it's hard to detach, especially if you're extroverted, if you love what you do and you love entertaining people and you love interacting with people. Eventually you're going to get drawn to a comment section, and then you're going to start fighting with some fucking random. And it's frustrating. It's the reason why I see a lot of my colleagues get burned out and sometimes take long breaks. And I don't intend on leaving. I'm not stopping. I don't intend on taking a break. But when you do this job, you have to look out for your mental health so much more. So much more than anybody else. And if you're a content creator, oh my God. You know, the endless criticism, the endless, you know, just weird fucking comments, you know, the bullying, the everything, the literally trying to get a rise out of you. I'm here, like, literally in the comment section watching people. It's very obvious that all they're trying to do is get a rise out of me, and I give it to them. This week only, I feel like, and I fucking give it to them. But it's hard. It's hard to not, you know, when you're going through an episode or something, because you're feeling very sensitive about yourself. You're feeling anxious. You're feeling depressed. You're playing back painful memories of your past. And for me, because of the nature of my trauma, you know, people like smearing my name and like indicating incompetence to me, can be actually, not in the way that people use it willy-nilly, a trigger. Because it's something that was weaponized against me by my abuser, which built up to bigger things. And so you can be really surprised about what triggered you what triggers you. And I thought I was just upset, but I'm just realizing, like, no, that brought some stuff up. And so if there's any content creators out there going through the same thing, I just want to let you know, like, I get it. Like, I get you. It's so annoying. It's painful. And we have to figure out a way to detach, because these people are not going away anytime soon. And if we want to keep doing what we do, I don't like to say stiff upper lip, because that kind of insinuates like pushing down your feelings and pretending that you don't have them. But just being aware of your emotions and how sensitive you can be and what you're sensitive to, and tricking your brain into not taking you down that path. And for me, it's like not looking at comment sections and not engaging in comments as much as I would like to. Because I tell you, like, some of y'all make it really, really hard for us to want to keep doing it, and a lot of people just step way out of line, as in those people that just decided to remark based on a 20-second parody about my life and my my competence as a wife, which is something that people seem so eager to police about women. My competence as a wife. Meanwhile, I'm here thinking, I'm like, wow, like all this like these 9 years that I worked endlessly through trauma, through life-threatening events, through just complete like probably psychotic episodes to keep my family afloat, to keep my family alive, and now now I get to stay at home, and even though it's from strangers and like they ain't shit, you ain't shit, it's still like I said, when you're in these moods and these episodes, it gets to you. It really gets to you. Oh, and then another thing, when I was in the live stream, somebody from my old church popped in and was like, hey, I saw your dad the other day. And I was like, oh, fuck that nigga. Did he tell you about how he disowned me and said that I was dead to him? Like, and of course the person was like, no, he didn't. I was like, of course he didn't. Why would you? Like, oh my God. And that was yesterday. So like that the entirety of Veterans Day, it just started out like that. It started out with Trigger City and just put me in a state of mind that was just like woo woo. And so and things like this can happen to us. And for the content creators out there, like, we have to take care of ourselves, because if we don't, this stuff sneaks up, and before you know it, you're having a bad day, bad few days, bad week. There is definitely a mental health component that goes into this, and a big part of our job is engaging with people. And so very often people don't teach us about the disengaging part of it. And we can't control what other people do, and we can't control what other people say and how they react to us. All we can do is the best we can with our content, and then take care of ourselves and manage that relationship. And the relationship that we have with our followers and fans, just like every relationship, has to have boundaries. And this is kind of a check-in for myself to reestablish some solid boundaries with some of y'all, honestly. And just for those of you out there that give a fuck, because some of you don't, and I don't care. Like, and I and I know that, but words mean things. Words do mean things. Just keep in mind that these are the things that we go through. This is the stress we go through on top of things that are happening in our lives that we're not telling you, and we are not obligated to tell you. But we are, even though people look down on creative fields like this, we're going through a lot because we do love to see you happy, even though we don't know you guys personally. We go through a lot because we want to make you laugh. We want to see you happy. And sometimes we will let you in on a little bit of our lives to do that. Don't fucking abuse it. Don't fucking abuse it. And I'm not speaking for myself because I don't plan on going anywhere, but that's a really good way to get some of your content creators to stop posting, like stop engaging. Like, I'm going to do my best to try and cut down engaging. As far as comments go, it's going to be really hard for me, and I'm probably going to slip up. I'm going to do my fucking best. But just keep in mind that, you know, when you fix your fingers to write a comment or anything, just think about how that would affect somebody's mood or feelings. If this is something that you would want, if this is something that you would want to hear, you know, directed at yourself, and if it's and is this necessary or not? And again, I know there's also people out there probably watching this video right now that don't give a fuck and are going to continue to do fuck shit. And to those people, I'm like, first of all, get a fucking life and get a grip on reality, because you don't know me like that. And you might get a reply from me if I slip up on my mental health plan. But honestly, you more often than not, you'll get deleted or blocked. Because I don't have time for that. I'm not talking about people that just have different opinions than me. And some things like you don't get to like some opinions, like I'm not gonna fucking debate. You know what I mean? Like, if a human has rights to civil rights and shit like that, and like that's not up for discussion. But if you are one of those people, I'm glad that you have so much time to waste on people that are actually like out there and really putting themselves out there and trying. And I know those are the same people that will, you know, say mean things and then come back with like, well, you knew what the fuck you were signing up for when you decided to get on the internet and do this and that, and this and that. And I'm like, yeah, and that's how you justify being a monster, because that's what you are. And yeah, I'm very much aware that unfortunately, that's what I signed up for, but it doesn't make it okay. And like I said, for those who do care, it has such an effect on us that you can't imagine. Like the content creator community in which I am a part, and we talk to each other, I tell you guys, the depression, the feelings of not being good enough, the FOMO, the hopelessness sometimes. These are all things that we have to power through to keep doing this, because we really do like to make people happy. We really, really do. But sometimes some of y'all make it really fucking hard. And so that's, like I said, this was truly a rant about me and what's been going on with me. And so I'm doing my best to recover. I'm going to go and I'm going to take a bubble bath. And I'm going to probably listen to the new Silk Sonic album. But I felt like getting this out. And I'm very well aware that there's some people out there that aren't going to give a fuck about this shit. And they're going to label it a pity party. And I don't really care, because it's a rant, it's my channel. I can do whatever the fuck I want, and I can complain if I want, because it's my space, and I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck, which is an attitude that I need to resurrect for myself. But also doing this because this is a problem that a lot of content creators have, and we don't make enough space to talk about this. And so if you can relate, I get it. And I just want to let you know that. So happy fucking Friday. Have a good weekend.